Hey, this is Rich. It's Sunday afternoon, maybe just a little bit before 4 o'clock. Decided to try a little something different as far as video blogs go. Most of the other ones were either in-car video or I guess just me doing stuff out in the garage, which is great, but you know, the only people that you get comments from on those are your closest friends who, you know, it's almost like getting comments back from your mother, because you know she's going to be supportive of what you're doing. And I started, I guess, branching out, started watching other people's videos, particularly Shish Kebab 30 and Blue Rage 11, who I've really enjoyed, I guess, their camera presence. I thought they're really cool on camera and thought, wow, that's kind of, figured I'd give it a try. So this is really, I guess, my first video like this. And I noticed that in, I guess, Shish Kebab's 30's last video, he kind of slammed the 80's a little bit. You know, being 39 years old and I guess 39 and a half years old, and having grown up in the 80's, I feel like I owe him a little bit of payback. So this is actually my second attempt trying to do this. The first one, I had written all this stuff down. Had actually written all of this stuff down about what I was going to talk about, and realized, wow, that's you know, it was 15 minutes and I hadn't really even scratched the surface, and kind of, you know, was going to try to do it as a history lesson, and, you know, blah blah. As it turned out that, you know, there's 80's was pretty damn complicated. So I kind of decided, well, I would go to my movie collection. Actually, go to our movie collection, pull I don't know, maybe half dozen 80's movies, talk about them a little bit, and see what happens. Anyway, first movie was 1980's Airplane. Was actually in London as a kid at 13, tried to go see this movie. And since it had an R rating, was not able to get in. It's just amusing that the folks in Britain are much more strict about who they let into the movies than we are. So wasn't able to see this movie until it actually came out on videotape much later. Ended up seeing Superman 2 instead. It sucked. Second movie, probably one of my all-time favorites. Star Wars, Empire Strikes Back, second movie of the original trilogy. In my opinion, by far the best story. I liked the fact that it was dark. I think it, you know, it was definitely that transition movie, but definitely think it was the best of the entire series. Second movie, similar guys, you know, so it's George Lucas, Steven Spielberg. Indiana Jones, Raiders of the Lost Ark. Again, I guess as far as big budget Spielberg movies go, this one was pretty good. It was originally supposed to star Tom Selleck, as everybody knows. It was supposed to turn him into a movie star, but he couldn't get out of his Magnum PI contract. So he did something better for Harrison Ford. Next movie. I actually did not see this one in the 80's, even though it was a huge film, E.T., again, Steven Spielberg. Not actually, I have no idea why. Just never got, I guess it was so big I just wasn't interested. Saw it on DVD for the first time maybe 5 years ago, something like that, and was really kind of impressed. The director's cut that they redid just sucks. Original one, definitely the way to go. Another movie starring Harrison Ford, not that there's a particular theme here. Just seems like at times he seems to pick really good movies to do. Blade Runner, you know, this one kind of speaks for itself. I do like science fiction. I do like dark science fiction. So Alien is another, you know, 70's movie, but also really awesome. Next movie, again, not a big Tom Cruise fan. However, this movie was absolutely incredible. Risky Business. Basically turned Tom Cruise into the star that I guess that he is now. That's kind of debatable, but it was a very slick movie, very beautifully made. Next movie, another science fiction movie. Dune, basically the movie adaptation of Frank Herbert's novel. very, very tough movie to do, and you know, they've certainly had multiple goes at it, and you know, there's been, again on DVD, it's been out, it's been pulled, and it's been back out, but and I have no idea which one that is, whether it was the original theatrical or whether it's some compilation or some director's cut. But either way, I think it helps if you read the book before watching that movie. But again, excellent movie. This next one is definitely a quintessential 80s movie. Breakfast Club. I guess it helps if you'd have been in high school during this when this movie was made in 1985. That's basically when I graduated from high school. Again, I think it was a really great ensemble piece. I identified with some of the characters in the movie, but I think in general it was a nicely made, very simple movie with very good acting. Definitely the best of the John Hughes movies of the 80s. Pretty in Pink, not so much. Next movie is The Color Purple. Again, another Steven Spielberg movie. Oprah Winfrey and Whoopi Goldberg. Incredible acting performances by both of those two actresses. And quite frankly, up until Schindler's List, probably the best Steven Spielberg movie from, I guess, for about a decade. Next movie, actually Shish Kebab and I have this one in common. This was Die Hard with Bruce Willis. Again, they made too many of these, but the first one, I like the fact that it was gritty. It was at least somewhat realistic. It was a pretty awesome action movie, and how can you miss with Alan Rickman? Last movie on the list is a comedy, A Fish Called Wanda. Late 80s movie with John Cleese and Michael Palin from Monty Python's Flying Circus. So I guess you'd say almost like an English comedy, sort of English-American comedy. Again, great acting, great people in it, decent story, and again, a fairly simple movie. Sometimes you don't have to go way over the top with things to have a good movie. So those are kind of my quick choices of 80s movies. However, I will admit that the bulk of our movie collection is really 90s films or newer, and I definitely think that movies have gotten a lot better since the mid 80s, or I guess I should say the early 80s. So anyway, thanks for watching. It looks like this one's actually going to make it under the 10-minute mark. Again, subscribe. Love to hear your comments. Thanks for watching. Oh, hello again. I'm pulling a Blue Rage trick here and doing a But Wait, There's More. There are actually two films that I thought about after I finished the video, thinking, wow, I should include those. The first one was the Wolfgang Petersen movie, Das Boot, which is a story of German submarine crew during World War II. It was, I guess, released in German with English subtitles in the US. Definitely a very gritty, awesome movie. I actually got the opportunity back in 1983 or 1984 to tour the Bavaria movie studios in Munich. Actually walked through the submarine set that they used. And, really kind of noticed how claustrophobic everything was. It's hard to believe that you can make a movie inside the submarine like that. But it never really occurred to me to sit down and watch the movie. I finally got around to seeing the movie at a friend's house maybe a year ago. So, but definitely very highly recommended. The last movie that I was thinking about was definitely a vintage 80s movie, and that would be Prince's Purple Rain. I guess his musical, rock opera, whatever you want to call it. Good story, a decent story, decent acting, but the soundtrack is the reason why you went to go see the movie. It was incredible. Definitely, I guess I kind of thought about it as I kind of remembered that Blue Rage was using some of Prince as background music for some of his videos. But anyway, thanks for watching. I'll see you next time.